Hello, this is a continuation of the last video. I guess the link will be placed below. So we're going to actually quickly go over what this is more for first day staff or people who are related to that, on how to chart or what FDAR chart looks like on Google and Google Docs and what we've been charting on before. So going back to FDAR charting, it really looks kind of like this. In a regular setting on a paper, it really looks like that on, it really looks like that on paper. So you just want to put your focus, and then your data is here, and this is your actions, the things that you've done. So, and then your response to it. And then make sure you sign your name, all that. So on HMIS, it's still going to have this kind of format. I would probably kind of just cut and paste each by pressing Control-C, highlighting it, Control-C, then go over to HMIS on that template and Control-V and pasting all this stuff, so that way you don't have to rewrite it. When you're tracking services on Google Docs, actually, let's go over it. So before, when we started charting on HMS Google Docs, really, you have this. I did tailor it to that way to change the name of the clients and the staff name. So essentially, this is generally what we charted on Excel. So this is what it would look like, and then the services provided, and we would use a count in function to kind of determine the services. So it was more kind of a assessment and an intervention, very little evaluation and planning charted. It's also while this is very detailed, it's also the kind of setbacks to this is that I would have to read each and individual one. So if I want to go back to, let's say I needed to find his GR appointment, I would really have to look for each one. Or if I needed to go find where the client, if there's a court date because the client got a court date, I would have to literally I may have to go to each one. And maybe this isn't my client. That would make it even harder, because at least if this was my client, I would probably go back, oh yeah, on around November time, I remember I took the client to the GR, or the client received a GR and he talked to me about it. If it was someone new and I have to go over it, it might be a little difficult because I'd have to, again, read over it. Narrative, this is very similar to narrative charting. While it is, again, it's detailed, however, it's just very, very hard to read almost, in a way. FDAR charting, it will look like this it will actually kind of look a little bit like this on the Google Docs. The nice thing about this, yes, there's kind of a subject header on each one, and notice that there's also different staff that's kind of working on the client. So there's also, it looks like there's Jane, Corey, Wilson, Robert, and yeah, I guess it's just Jane, Robert, Wilson, and Corey. Let's say Jane, it looks like, and it's easier to read. Apart from time, we can actually sort through the focus part. This is a filter function, so maybe I just want to go Section 8 voucher stuff. And rather than having to read each one, I can look at it, say, oh, well, like in December of 2015, Jane started with Mr. Scrooge. She started his processing, and then this makes it easier to read as you're going to. As you notice that you have DA, and that's it. And then probably about a week later, 6 days later, there's a response to it. So once again, this is an independent charting. As long as it flows, you can really kind of make it easier to read. Let's say you want to cover over his as you notice here, client begins in the action. Client begin housing search on his own because he received his Section 8 voucher. He got referred to Corey, the housing search navigator. So with that, you may want to, well, maybe let's see what Corey has done for him. And so in 2000, once he started receiving his GR, Corey noted that, well, he got this is what he requested, and this is his voucher amount. And then so her action is that she explained the role of housing search assistant, that he must provide his own transportation, meet with the client. Those are the things that she wanted. She kind of discussed to go over and make sure everything is hunky dory. And then here she had an evaluation is really how the client understood it. If he had any questions at this time, or he acknowledged the program, and then he began to receive housing leads. So the next day it looks like, and it really kind of tells a story, because the next day Corey gave this housing lead, and then so she referred Letitia, the property manager, about the unit, forwarded info to client, and then client will see the client stated that he will see the unit in the afternoon. However, 3 days later, he said like she evaluated, or she found out his response was not to my liking. And then another thing here is like his response. Corey really went to Corey had to transport the client over to fix a flat. But the client was really, she referred him to a housing lead, and then he was on his way, and then the bike went flat. This is her action. So she tried to solve the issue. So Robert made his way to the transportation. So then you may want to filter in Robert. No, increase the thing here. So you may want to look at it and like one transportation housing lead. So yes, Robert has all these other things, but you may want to see what Robert did specifically in the focus. So that's related to it. So so these two kind of tie. So you kind of get the idea that, well, this is where Corey left off, and this is where Robert picked up in his care. So from Corey's note, whatever, he transported client from Slauson Painting Avenue and 335 Tertiary Way. They met with the property manager. And as you see, Robert kind of documented, due to poor credit score, client did not qualify. And then what he did, he transported the client back to his encampment to fix the bike. And then he also made sure Corey was notified. Yeah. So now this is kind of what FDAR charting looks like in a live sense. What you will see in tutorial videos here in your charting in Google Docs. Again, this is mainly done for service tracking only, because until we get until HMIS is a little more accurate in terms of finding out what's there, is able to accurately measure all of our services. They do measure some goals, but not all. So you have this, it goes data, assessment, actions, response, which really is the kind of the same thing, apart from it's dedicated to each column. So there will be a subsequent video on how to use this. So for example, it was, do we have a Ebenezer Scrooge? So translating that, let me just split the screen. And so let's say let's say it's a new month, I don't know. So if you just want to add, hey, 2/15/2016, and I am Robert, and Robert is at first day now charting, And he was working with Ebenezer Scrooge. Last name for Scrooge. Ebenezer. So in that, if it says unrecognized, that really means that the client was never registered. So what you want to do really is go back and Scrooge. These are, I want to say, let's go Whittier. And just make up a date of birth. Well, don't make an actual date of birth, but we're gonna straight shots at Mr. Scrooge. Was born in March 15th, 1936. I don't know. Okay, that's a male. He is white. Date of first contact. I don't know. I want to say like I guess going back here. Date of first contact was 12/1/2015. 12/2. I'm not going to go into this just yet, but I just want to just fill out the basics of when like all these other things, but we can go over it in the video. So now that he's registered, you see now he's in Whittier. So Robert, from that, he provided transportation, and it was about well, reporting to Robert, let's say going there took about 60 minutes because it's done in this is done in minutes and hours. So 1. And then transportation wise, case management wise, it is a case management because he did do some. He was working with the landlord, so it was about an additional on top of that. So 60 minutes plus. Probably he just spoke with him for about 30 minutes. Him, so total of 90 minutes because it's by minutes. He didn't really assess anyone. He did go to him with a housing referral. And that seems to be it. However, here you may want to, while you are charting on HMIS, Robert would like to it would be probably prudent of Robert to go talk about really on just state his focus. Where was it? Transportation housing search. So he can leave it here. So next time when he can revisit what the heck, why was he he can really revisit why the heck is he putting why was this there, what kind of horrif, what kind of why did the case management take so long, and transportation, well, why did it take 1 hour. If this is left blank and later down the line, like 2 months later, Robert was trying to calculate his goals, it's just like I don't remember what I did there. But having to do the focus, he's able to make the reference back to his charting in HMIS. And in HMIS, he would probably, he would actually just go ahead and like copy this and then paste it. We don't have like a learning template for HMIS, so I can't really show you, but all you would have to do is just press Control C, and then Control V, hold down Control, and then highlight it, Control C, and then when you're gonna add to a new thing, let's say this was HMIS, you just press Control V. Obviously, it's gonna look much more oh gosh, more appealing to that. All right, so that really kind of covers what FDAR charting is and how it's charted on first day. Google Docs. Again, the only time you would, again, really going back over, the only time you would go over here much is that when there's no access to HMS, the client doesn't have an HMS thing. But at this point, really, everybody should have some kind of HMIS, or the system is down, which tends to happen. You know, no one's perfect. Oops. Let me quickly show. Yeah. But let's say the system is down. So I would really just chart on his data. And then, oops, I would also chart on, I would kind of highlight. So Control C and Control V, highlight the thing, and then the response to it. Control C. Control V. So it may look like that. That's what it would look like in Google Docs. So let's say independently time from each other. Let's say he wasn't really the one that picked up, or he could just have it like that. Mind you, again, these three actually need to be on HMIS, the narrative themselves. So once again, unless it's unless it's outside, we can't access HMIS for some reason, then you can put it here, but you need to go back and put it back on there. Well, that would be it. I think that would cover it. So if there's any questions, just go ahead and email me. Email me at info@whittierfirstday.org, and then or find me on site, as most people do. Alrighty, thank you. Have a good day.